coming to you live for the Build 4 Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app. Good Wednesday morning. Later on tonight, Game 5. Hopefully the Knicks finish off the Jason Tatum-less Celtics as he gets his Achilles surgery yesterday. We are not going to see him in this series. We're not going to see him anytime soon, and we hope for a speedy recovery for one of the NBA's best players, of course. But as far as this series goes, the Knicks can't blow it now. And you see the Indiana Pacers taking care of business last night. Knicks have to do the same thing tonight. Sort of forget that the Subway Series is happening this weekend coming up as well, and it's going to be Juan Soto craziness out there in right field at Yankee Stadium. And it's schedule release day. We've got a whole bunch of games, but really no Giants or Jets games that are out there. Couple, but we don't know their schedules, so we'll be able to see that tonight. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, Jay. And watching the Cavaliers-Pacers last night, you can see the Cavaliers hobbling all over the place. And the Pacers just laid the hammer down in the second half. I mean, the Cavaliers got out to a big, lead in the first half, and they just couldn't hang on. And what was really a season to remember for the Cavaliers just ends with a dud now. And the Pacers do what they're supposed to do, and now the Knicks have to do the same thing. And beat Boston in 5, which is mind-numbing when you really think about it. I know Boston will play their asses off tonight. I know that they'll come out. They'll be charged up. Porzingis will most likely be in the starting lineup. And we'll see how long he can last and see whether or not he has the stamina to go as many minutes as he did when they had the same situation against the Magic in Game 2.
That's right.
So I just think that now we start thinking about tonight. Now we start thinking about, okay, let's go. Let's take care of business. And then If they can take care of business tonight, then it leads to maybe the most enjoyable matchup that the Knicks and their fans and us could possibly have, and that would be a revenge matchup against the Indiana Pacers, who took out the Knicks in 7 last year.
Yeah, I was thinking, what if Sam Hauser got healthy and got into this game tonight and then carried the Celtics to an improbable...
I wish I had his jersey. I'd put it in there.
Imagine if he came. Wouldn't that be something else? Wouldn't that be justice for Boomer and Sam Hauser, the new Jason Tatum?
Yeah, you
50 points for Hauser.
All you psychos out there that were all over me because I was talking about Sam Hauser getting hurt in Game 1. I'm telling you, it has come back to haunt.
Hauser again.
It has come back to haunt
the Celtics.
It really hurt their depth, and now even more so. Because of the loss of Jason Tatum, who I would think was at HSS yesterday and got taken care of by our old buddy Marty O'Malley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you got to remember, that's exactly where Kevin Durant went. That's where Joel Embiid went. That's where I would go.
Yeah, well,
if that would be the case, and
if you're not getting that speed bridge from Elatrod, you're going to O'Malley. O'Malley's the guy. One of the best in the world at what he does.
Yeah, I don't, the speed bridge and all of that stuff with Aaron Rodgers was a whole other different set of circumstances. There was some promotional money, I'm sure, in that and everything else. It was just let's utilize the New York market to tell you how great this particular procedure is, which is fine. I mean, that's capitalism at its finest. Let's take an injury and make some money out of it, and let's try to come back quicker than we possibly could. And he never did come back that year. But at the end of the day, these things, unfortunately, they happen, and Jason's going to be okay. He'll be able to recover. There's a long list of guys who have come back from it, and obviously Kevin Durant has come back from it and had the same doctor. I would believe. I don't know that for a fact, but I would think that would be the case.
Yeah, so if you would have told me after the Karl Anthony Towns deal in the offseason that we'd fast forward and most likely, as the Pacers are there and the Knicks are 1 win away, most likely having a Knicks-Pacers Eastern Conference Finals in the spring, I would have said, yeah, that makes sense to me. These are two teams that are on the rise. It's not going to be easy, but, the Boston Celtics are in there. It's going to be tough, but I could totally see that happening. But the way that we have gotten here is just amazing. This was the Cavaliers' season. This was the Boston Celtics returning, defending their championship, and now one is out and the other is basically out, hanging on by a thread. And here come the Knicks and Pacers with this tremendous opportunity. And I know we're hyper Knicks focused, but you got to be thinking about what they're thinking in Indiana as well. Like, my goodness, they'll take the Knicks 10 times out of 10 with, the Jason Tatum injury aside. They're thinking, we got the Knicks, a team that we beat last year, in front of us to go to the NBA Finals. Like, this is tremendous for them. And these two teams don't like each other. It was such an intense series last year. It carried over so much that the WWE picked it up and put it in one of their storylines with Halliburton and Brunson. So if we do, or when we do get this series, it is going to be awesome. It's going to remind you of old series in the past where these teams really didn't like one another.
Yeah, well, let's just worry about Boston tonight. Let's just worry about staying healthy because, as we have seen, this is a war of attrition, especially on the Eastern side of things, the Eastern Conference side of things, with the amount of injuries that Cleveland was dealing with. And those guys were out there hobbling last night. I don't know if you saw any of Garland last night. He's out there.
I mean, it reminded me of last year with the Knicks.
Yeah,
I mean, OG coming back and trying to play, and he's hobbling, and then Josh Hart and then Jalen. It just was on and on and on.
And that's what I'm telling you. That's what the Celtics have gone through. That's the whole Sam Hauser injury. That's the impact that it has on your bench. And then, of course, you have Porzingis with whatever illness he's dealing with and whatever stamina issues he's dealing with. The Knicks, by the way, I was reading about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, since he came into the league in 2017, right?
Oh, stat pack spot. NBA
right?
stat pack?
Nobody has played more minutes or more games than Jason Tatum.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that led to his Achilles injury. I don't know. Maybe they'd be screaming about Joe Mazzulla up there playing him too much. I don't know. But,
can you play that guy too much? I don't think so.
Well, can you play any of these guys too much? Mikal Bridges looks like he just can go and go and go and go and go. He could probably play 60 minutes a night. Yeah,
I mean, that Iron Man stuff, and I know he just checked into the one game at the end of the season, but, I mean, it is real. He has earned that. And in these games, he's just you could play him every single minute. They did. In game one, he played every minute into overtime, 51 of them to be exact, and they ended up winning that game, and he's been fantastic. Well, not every one of them. A couple of minutes he was out, but yeah, he doesn't break a sweat.
So now the pressure is squarely on the shoulders of Jaylen Brown, who got a new contract, huge contract, and he's got to be able to carry this team. From the Celtics' perspective, him and Derek White, if Derek White gets off to one of those, 5-for-5 3-point shooting nights, it's going to drive all of us crazy. Maybe this is the game where maybe the Knicks can get a lead early in the game and hold on to it. But, as long as they come out in that second half and don't have a dud of a beginning of the third quarter and they keep this thing close, I mean, tonight is the night you got to close it out. You got to put your foot on their throat and you don't lift it up until you're done.
Yeah, I was just looking at Derek White's contracts. I was like, I'd love to have that guy on my team who was a free agent, but no, he's not going to be a free agent until 2029 or 2030, so he's going to be in that Celtics uniform for a very long time. And I guess our afternoon show is going up to Boston for this game. I heard that just in some scuttlebutt as I was walking into the studio this morning.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know.
Why are they doing that? What are we doing? What we got? What is this?
I don't,
I thought we were trying to save money.
They're probably paying for it on their own, I would imagine.
Are they actually doing a broadcast up there?
Yeah, they're going to do the show from, I guess, the next day, or maybe they're doing it. No, they're doing it tonight.
They have to do it.
They're doing it today at WEEI, I think.
Are they? Is it like a simulcast broadcast? One of those hokey things?
I don't think it's. No, I don't believe it is.
Everybody being professional. Why are they up there doing it?
I don't know.
Whose idea was this?
Probably Evan's. I mean, Evan has been obsessed with sports travel ever since I knew him. Back early on when I was producing Joe and Evan in 2007 and 2008.
Does he go through Big Blue Travel? I mean, because they're a sports travel company.
And they do an amazing job. But no, he doesn't do anything with them. But he's always traveling all over the place. For God's sakes, he went to London with the Mets last year, if you remember that.
Well,
he was dragging me out to L.A. back in the day to see the Mets and the Dodgers. I had to pay my own way.
He wasn't broadcasting from London. He went there as a fan. And that I can appreciate.
I was making $26,000 a year, and I was forced to pay my own way to go out to L.A. because those guys wanted to go. I was like, you guys are kidding me, right? Like, well, you got to go. I'm like, well, is someone going to – I mean, I have $0 to my name. But I did it.
Did you guys broadcast out there? Or no?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Well, I mean –
it was one of the funnier things that I'd ever experienced because Joe and Evan paid their own way, too, because we presented it to them. And to Chernoff, because Evan wanted to do this and go to an NBA Finals game. It was actually Lakers-Celtics
and the Mets were playing the Angels out there, and they actually fired Willie Randolph in the middle of the night.
I remember.
While we were out there.
Let me ask you a question.
But hold on, just one.
Okay.
Let me finish this story. So everybody pays their own way. There's no sponsors. There's no nothing. And then as we start the first show, Dove tells me that the broadcast, Joe and Evan in L.A., is sponsored by American Airlines. And Joe's head exploded. You telling me that I just paid for my own freaking flight, and then you guys sell it to American Airlines? Are you freaking kidding me? The first, 8 minutes of the show was that. So
I don't
anyway.
blame them, actually.
No, of course. I mean, that was one of those I even said, this
So
is insane.
they're dragging Tiki up to Boston?
I don't know. I just know that some of them are going. I guess I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure somebody has more information on it. And people will call.
Are they going to the game?
Where's my phone? I'll see if someone.
Are they going to the game?
Yeah, I think they're going to the game. Yeah, why would you go up there and not go to the game?
Who paid for those tickets?
I don't know that either, man. I don't have these answers. I wish I did. I probably should have researched this more before bringing it up to you.
Do you think they're all sharing one room, like a hotel room?
Well, Tiki would not do that, but Evan, Sean, and Loogie may.
Oh,
Sean is not going.
Yeah, Sean's not going. Sean is staying back here.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it's
looking at the
Dudes,
schedule.
Dogs, and Damage, and Evan. Maybe it's just those two? And Tiki and Sean will be back here?
No, I think Tiki's going as well. I just think Sean's remaining back here.
Let's see.
I was just guessing based on the
So if
schedules
Tiki goes
we
to
get.
the game tonight, are we going to see him as a celebrity at the game tonight?
So Evan and Tommy are just going. So Tiki's not going.
Yeah, I didn't think
either.
Tiki was going.
Yeah,
There
so
you
it's just Evan and Tommy is what I'm
Okay.
hearing.
This is definitely totally on their own dime thing.
Yeah,
Oh, it's got to be
absolutely.
on their own dime, and they're going to be sharing a room together.
Oh, 100. And
God.
I do wonder if they have tickets.
They have to. I mean, why would what? Are you saying that they got a press credential?
I have no.
Because they can't get it through the Knicks because the Knicks don't give us credentials.
You're not allowed to cheer if you have a credential, and Tommy won't be able to.
That is true. He
handle
can't do his
himself.
whole thing.
Does Tommy get in a fight tonight with the other Boston Celtic
We
fans?
can
you know?
hope.
Yeah, he may. Hopefully, Evan is smart enough to capture that on camera. If he does, and not say, I'm trying to protect the guy. No, it's content. Content
There's
wins.
no way
Content
that the
is
Boston
king.
Celtic fan is going to listen to Tommy screaming and yelling Dudes, Dogs, and Damage.
Probably not. And speaking of the radio station and paying for things and all that, I heard.
Yeah.
I heard BT and Sal talking about this and how BT's like, a lot of people, compare us to, Mike and the Mad Dog because of our sports passion and, and all that stuff. And, Mike and Chris, they went to, back in the day in the 90s, Knicks played the Pacers. They were there. They'd go to Indiana. BT goes, do you think, Sales will step up and send us out there? I laughed so hard my life. I was dying. And then even Sal goes, what are you, nuts? There's no way they're sending us out there. I mean,
hold on.
I swear that's what he said. I
that
swear to God, it's what
there
he
are
said.
people that compare. I mean, look,
They
Mike
say-
and the Mad Dog were a legendary duo here at WFAN in prime time, in prime drive time.
He says
right?
a lot of people say they're like Mike and the Mad Dog.
Those
and Mike
guys
and the
are
Mad
like-
Dog used to travel during the Knicks playoff series, and they should travel, and Sales should pay for it. And then Sal goes, if we want to do that, we have to pay ourselves. And BT goes, I'm not doing that. I will never do that. I
I love those guys. I love it. I do.
This was a BT thing.
All right, but I love that. I love BT, man. I love his passion and everything else.
You love
but-
giving him stuff. I know that.
Yeah, I know, but let's can we have a little self-awareness? I mean, has anybody ever told you that that's what they think they are?
No, I don't.
Nobody's ever said that to me. Al, has anybody ever said that to you?
I've not heard
Because
that.
I know you love to listen to the radio station. You love calling, listening, and
Yeah, I've not heard that.
have you ever
one.
thought Mike and the Mad Dog for Sal and BT?
I have not.
Yeah, so
Not that time.
he was saying that because there's passionate sports fans and they do a sports show that people compare them to Mike and the Mad Dog.
Who?
I don't, that's what he hears. He's out and about, he's talking to listeners, but he believes that Sales should slap something together. Sales should slap something together and send them out to Indiana for the Eastern Conference Finals road games.
All right. Well, I love the passion, but let's let's check it at the door there, cuz.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe someone reached out to them and says, hey, we'll take care of that for you. You never know. But, I mean,
don't know. I've been I
the whole
shudder.
traveling thing for these series, though, it just seems like a lot when you got to do the radio shows.
I just shudder at the fact that some sales geek is going to come walking in here and going, "Hey, you guys want to go to Indiana to do a show?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Get the hell out of here! No way!
This boner gum is willing to send you out there.
I'm not going."
Right.
I have become so much more like Al Dukes. It is unbelievable the impact that he has had on me.
PocketRocket.com. The boner gum. I would like to sponsor
Indiana.
I don't like to sponsor this.
I'm not going.
No, I would no. That would no. That it's too. Plus, we got CBS Sports Network. It's impossible.
That's right. When you go out to the Super Bowl, it's a different story. I mean, you're out there. You're there for a week. You know, you're playing golf. You're going out to dinner. You're staying at a nice hotel.
It's a Super Bowl.
That's
yeah,
right.
I mean,
It's a Super Bowl.
For God's sakes. And then plus, you had during those weeks, especially the last one, was a CBS Super Bowl. Lots of responsibilities during that week. So that made sense. You know, having the modern day Mike and Chris out there in 2025. I don't know if it makes as much sense. I don't know if it makes as much sense.
All right. Well, look, good luck to those guys.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I don't know. We got to.
Now, if it's the NBA Finals,
And the Knicks are in the finals, that's a different story.
I mean,
It's still
out,
not happening.
It's going out there. I don't know.
As Mike and the Mad Dog, maybe they can move them to the afternoon.
Yeah, they can't. I don't know. You can't do that. It messes up the whole rating system and everything. You can't just be swapping shows in the
Well, I
middle.
was just thinking about so Lugauer and Evan are going up to, and Evan, I mean, he didn't have any skin in the game here.
He does
his team.
Yeah, he just I don't know. He just loves the sports travel. And I don't want to sit there and criticize that because people say how you play so much golf, you'll go here on a golf trip. Evan likes to do that, so he likes to do that, likes to do these things. But to me, it's like, okay, that's a free time thing. When you have to do the show, it just seems like so much.
Yeah, but they got the afternoon show, so they'll go to the game tonight, and then they'll come back tomorrow morning. I'm assuming.
I guess
And they'll be back in studio on Friday. Thursday.
I suppose so.
You would think so, right?
Waltzing in there to EEI.
I mean, it's easy to get up there to Boston. They could be driving up there. Are they driving together? Do we know?
I would hope so.
I would imagine they're driving. You could take the train to downtown Boston. You're right there.
If I gave you $1 million, could you name the WEEI afternoon show? Anybody? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they had in the mornings. They've got your guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
The guy. He's got a beard.
Felger and Maz.
No, that's on the other station.
No, that's the other station.
That's the other. That's the other station's afternoon show. And then they had
You're bad.
Toucher and Rich, and now it's just Toucher because Rich left.
No, that was the other show. That's the other.
But that's what I'm
station.
saying. That's the other station.
Yeah.
But it's your guy that you talk to every week there.
Something Hill. Greg Hill show.
The Greg Hill show. There you go. Yes, Greg Hill. So they've got that in the mornings. But the afternoon show on EEI is Andy Hart, Nick Stevens, and former Patriot linebacker Ted Johnson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. TJ's up there, yeah.
So they'll do a...
They're going to do a little bit of a simulcast.
Maybe, here's
can't
Loogie,
wait for
generational talent.
Yep.
I mean, they may hire him on the spot with that lineup up there. If he's a generational talent, just give him the show.
Yeah, but, they're not going to want a Knick fan hosting a show up in Boston. No way.
If he's a generational talent, they'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is crazy. Everybody's got Knicks fever now.
I feel like Loogie is like the Shador Sanders of WFAN,
A lot of hype.
Legendary.
That's funny. He is. He's like he's a lot of
It's
hype
either him or
around
Pat
him.
Boyle.
Maybe he'll get picked by Tulsa for the overnight.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of self-promotion, a lot of hype. When it comes to it, the executives really don't want him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's wearing a necklace that has legendary on it right now.
Oh, man. We love those guys, of course, but it is funny when they're traveling around and BT thinks that the sales just can't wait to send them out to Indiana because it's the reincarnation of Mike and the Mad Dog. Hoofa. Man, oh, man. We'll be here. We'll be doing the shows.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
We're anchoring this thing. That's what we do. We set the table for those guys.
We are the anchor, man.
We're the table setters for the rest of the day. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.